There comes a time in life when you realize that not every hand you hold is meant to walk with you to the end. Some people are placed in your path for a season, some for a reason, and very few for a lifetime. We often make the mistake of believing that everyone who enters our lives should stay forever. But the truth is far different. God, in His wisdom, sends people into your story, not always to remain, but sometimes to teach, to shape, to guide, or even to test. And when their purpose is complete, they will drift away, not because you are unworthy, not because you are unloved, but because their role in your journey has reached its end. Life is a series of arrivals and departures. Friends, companions, mentors, even loved ones, many of them come, but not all of them stay. And while it may hurt to let go, you must learn to embrace the truth that release is often a form of blessing. Holding too tightly to those who no longer belong will only weigh you down. What was meant to carry you for a season cannot carry you for a lifetime. You cannot keep dragging yesterday's relationships into tomorrow's destiny. Think of a tree in autumn. Its leaves turn, its colors fade, and finally they fall away. The tree does not mourn the loss of its leaves, because it knows this is part of its cycle. It understands that in order to survive winter and flourish in spring, it must release what can no longer sustain it. So too with your life. Some people are like leaves, beautiful for a time, necessary for a season, but eventually they fall away. And when they do, it is not your failure, it is your growth. Not everyone can understand the vision planted inside you. Not everyone can handle the storms you are destined to endure. Not everyone is strong enough, faithful enough, or aligned enough to walk beside you as you rise into your calling. And when God removes them, when the distance grows, when the paths separate, it is not rejection, it is divine alignment. Their chapter in your story has ended, and clinging to them will only blur the pages of what comes next. And yet, there will be those who are meant to stay. The rare ones. The few who see you not only for who you are now, but for who you are becoming. These are the ones who will celebrate your victories without envy, who will stand by you in the valley as firmly as they do on the mountain. Their loyalty will not be tested by time or circumstance, because they were chosen to walk beside you. But you cannot meet them, cannot recognize them if you are still holding on to those who were only meant for a season. So do not mourn the ones who walk away. Do not chase the ones who were never meant to stay. Instead, walk forward with peace, with faith, and with trust that those who belong will remain. For destiny has a way of separating what cannot last from what was built to endure. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. And that truth is not your burden, it is your blessing. There is a deep truth that many of us struggle to accept. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to remain forever. Some people are placed in your journey only for a season. They come with purpose, they come with lessons, and they come with experiences that help shape you into who you are becoming. But when that season is over, they are meant to move on. The difficulty lies in our human tendency to hold on tightly, to believe that every friendship, every relationship, every bond must last until the end of time. Yet life has never worked that way, and if you look back, you will see proof written in your own story. Think about the chapters of your life you have already lived. There were classmates who once felt like family, yet as years passed, distance and change separated you. There were friends you spoke to every day, who knew your secrets and shared your laughter, but who are no longer present in your daily world. There may have even been relationships you thought would last a lifetime that felt unbreakable, only to find them dissolved in the shifting sands of time. At the moment of loss, it felt like devastation, like the world was closing in. But in hindsight, you can see that those people played their role, fulfilled their purpose, and were never meant to carry you further. Some people are like bridges. They are necessary to get you from one stage of life to another, but once you cross, the bridge does not travel with you, it stays where it was meant to be. That does not make the bridge useless. It makes it essential for the part it played. In the same way, the people who come for a season are not wasted time. They were the teachers of lessons you did not know you needed. Some taught you about trust, some about betrayal, some taught you love, others taught you heartbreak. Some inspired you to dream, while others forced you to grow stronger in the face of their absence. Each one was a part of your development, whether their presence was joyful or painful. We must learn to embrace the truth that not all connections are built for permanence. Imagine if every leaf that ever grew on a tree stayed there forever. The tree would suffocate under the weight, unable to grow, unable to flourish, unable to change with the seasons. The falling away of the leaf is not the end of the tree's life. It is the continuation of it. The release makes room for new growth, for renewal, for transformation. In the same way, the release of people who are not meant to stay allows you to evolve into who you were always designed to become. The struggle is that we mistake temporary people for permanent fixtures. We confuse seasonal roles with lifelong commitments. When they leave, we see it as betrayal, as failure, as emptiness, when in truth, it is simply life unfolding as it was meant to. Their departure is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their season. A teacher does not remain in your life forever, but the lessons they gave you remain. A gardener does not stay in the field year-round, but the seeds planted continue to grow. So too with the people who were meant only for a chapter, not the entire book. You see, life is a story, and every story has characters that appear, contribute, and then exit. If every character stayed on every page, the story would lose its depth and meaning. It is the arrivals and departures, the comings and goings, that shape the narrative. To resist this truth is to hold yourself captive in a chapter that has already ended, when the author is calling you forward to something greater. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a time, to carry you through a certain storm, or to share a certain joy. And once their role is complete, they step away, making space for the next chapter to unfold. There is a kind of freedom that only comes when you learn to release what no longer belongs in your life. Many of us carry people long after their season has ended, holding on to relationships that drain us, friendships that no longer align with our purpose, or bonds that feel more like chains than connections. We hold on to them out of fear of loneliness, fear of change, fear of what life will look like without them. But what we do not realize is that the space they occupy could be the very space meant for our growth. By clinging to what has already run its course, we block the blessings that are waiting to enter. Imagine trying to fill a cup that is already overflowing with stagnant water. No matter how pure, how fresh, or how nourishing the new water may be, it cannot enter until the old has been poured out. The same is true with people in your life. When you cling to those who are not meant to walk with you into your future, you leave no room for those who are truly aligned with your destiny. You cannot receive new strength, new opportunities, new connections, if you are weighed down by relationships that no longer serve your growth. Releasing does not mean hatred. Releasing does not mean bitterness. It means recognizing that not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that letting go is sometimes the most powerful act of love for yourself, and even for the other person. When you release someone, you give them the freedom to walk their path, and you give yourself the freedom to walk yours. It is in this release that you discover the fullness of who you can become. Growth often requires pruning. A gardener knows that for a tree to bear fruit, some branches must be cut away. The cutting is not cruelty. It is care. It is not destruction. It is preparation for abundance. In the same way, the removal of certain people from your life is not punishment, but preparation. Their absence creates room for new growth, new strength, new purpose to take root. And though it may hurt in the moment, the harvest that follows is always worth the pain of release. There are people who will hold you back, not out of malice, but because they are not capable of walking where you are destined to go. Their vision is too small, their courage too weak, their commitment too shallow. And if you hold on to them, you risk shrinking your own vision, silencing your own courage, compromising your own calling. Release allows you to rise without resistance, to stretch into the person you were always meant to be. You see, the journey to becoming your fullest self is not one of constant addition, but often one of subtraction. It is not always about gaining more people, more relationships, more attachments. Sometimes it is about losing the ones who were never meant to stay. Because in that loss, you gain clarity, you gain strength, you gain space for what truly belongs. The act of releasing creates the sacred emptiness that is necessary for new blessings to enter. It is in the empty hands that new gifts are placed. It is in the cleared space that fresh growth can occur. It is in the letting go that you finally make room for what has been waiting for you all along. Those who cannot stay were never meant to carry you into your destiny. Their absence is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the chapter where you finally step fully into your own. In a world full of temporary connections and fleeting promises, there is something profoundly powerful about loyalty. True companions are not revealed in moments of ease when everything is smooth and comfortable. They are revealed in the storm, in the fire, in the nights when you feel like giving up, and in the valleys where the weight of life feels unbearable. Anyone can celebrate with you on the mountain, but not everyone will kneel beside you in the dirt when life has knocked you down. And it is in these moments that the truth of who belongs in your life is exposed. Loyalty is not measured by words, but by presence. It is not about those who speak grand promises, but about those who quietly stand beside you when the world turns its back. The people meant for your journey will not abandon you when trials come. They will not disappear when your light dims. They will not grow silent when your name is spoken with doubt. Instead, they will remain holding firm, because their bond with you is not built on convenience, but on connection. Not on benefit, but on belief. Endurance is the great revealer of character. Just as gold is tested in fire, relationships are tested in adversity. When everything is stripped away, your status, your success, your resources, those who are true will stay. They are not attached to what you can give, but to who you are at your core. And often it is only through loss, through difficulty, through suffering, that you discover who truly belongs. The ones who endure the storm with you are the ones who are always meant to be by your side. Think back on your life. There were people who cheered for you when everything was going well. But the moment you faced failure, they vanished. There were voices that praised you when the spotlight was on you. But the moment the stage grew dark, their applause faded. And then there were the rare ones who stayed even when there was nothing left to gain, who stood beside you when no one else would. Those are the companions chosen for your destiny. Their loyalty is not seasonal. It is steadfast. True companions walk with you, not only when you are strong, but also when you are weak. They do not see your struggles as burdens, but as opportunities to prove their faithfulness. They do not grow weary of your battles, but instead they lend you strength. Their presence is not about what you can offer them, but about what they believe in you. And these people are rare, more precious than gold, because they are not assigned to just a chapter in your story. They are woven into the very fabric of it. When storms rage, masks fall away. The people who are only pretending will leave. Because adversity strips away pretense, but those who remain are the ones who truly belong. They are the ones who see beyond your flaws, who look past your failures, who remind you of your worth when you have forgotten it yourself. Their loyalty is not loud, but it is lasting. It does not need to be declared, because it is proven again and again through endurance. It is important to understand that loyalty does not mean perfection. True companions are not without mistakes, but their commitment is unshaken. They may stumble, but they do not abandon. They may disagree, but they do not betray. Their connection to you is rooted not in circumstances, but in something deeper, something divinely aligned. And when you find such people, when you recognize the endurance of their presence, you are witnessing the gift of those who were truly meant to walk with you. One of the greatest pains of the human heart is to feel rejected, to watch someone walk away, to see a bond break, to feel a relationship fade. It cuts deeply because we attach our worth to the presence of others. We tell ourselves that if they left, it must mean we were not enough. If they walked away, it must mean we failed. If they chose someone else, it must mean we were unworthy. But this is the lie that keeps so many bound in chains of sorrow. The truth is, when people leave, when doors close, when connections dissolve, it is not always rejection. It is alignment. It is the unseen hand of destiny rearranging your path, so that your steps fall in line with where you are truly meant to go. Think about how often you begged for something to remain in your life, only to later look back and thank God it didn't. That friendship that ended, that job that slipped away, that person who turned their back, it felt like betrayal at the time. It felt like betrayal at the time. It felt like rejection. But with the wisdom of hindsight, you can see that their departure created room for something far better. If they had stayed, you would have been stuck in a smaller version of yourself. If they had stayed, you would have missed the opportunities waiting ahead. What looked like rejection was really redirection, a shift toward alignment with something greater. Divine alignment is rarely comfortable because it requires separation, and separation feels like loss. But in reality, separation is often protection. When someone walks away, you are being spared from burdens you were never meant to carry. You are being protected from pain that would have broken you, from limitations that would have confined you, from distractions that would have derailed you. Their absence is not a reflection of your weakness, but a reflection of your destiny. You were never meant to be tied down by those who cannot see, cannot support, cannot grow with where you are going. Consider a puzzle. Every piece has its place, and when a piece does not fit, you cannot force it. To keep pressing it into the wrong space would only distort the picture. In the same way, some people simply do not fit the design of your future. Forcing them into your life only creates confusion and pain. Letting them go is not rejection. It is alignment. The process of allowing the right pieces to come together to form the masterpiece of your destiny. It is important to understand that alignment does not always happen with your permission. Sometimes the people you wanted most to stay are the very ones who must leave. Sometimes the places you wanted most to remain are the very ones you must depart. And sometimes the dreams you thought were certain are the very ones that must fall apart. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are being aligned with something far greater than you imagined. What feels like rejection in the moment is often the preparation for a blessing you would not have recognized otherwise. Letting go, then, is not an act of weakness. It is an act of trust. It is trusting that your life is not random, that your path is not without design, that the people who remain are the ones who were meant to remain. It is trusting that the doors that closed were never your doors, that the people who left were never your people, that the spaces now empty will not remain empty forever. Releasing is not about losing, it is about making room for alignment, for purpose, for destiny to unfold exactly as it was written.